Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got the Coco crew here holding it down live. Yours truly, sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. It's right, boom, boom, here's Second Room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. Of course, I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the founder, the CEO, talking about the head honcho himself, Dave Coco, coming to you live from his studio apartment. Actually, it's a condominium. Mrs. Coco, don't kill me. Dave Coco from Tokyo, Japan, and of course, join us, the newbie here, the rookie. We love him to death. He's Sammy Synister, coming to you from God's country, the great state of Alabama. Gentlemen, it's good to see you again. It's been a hell of a week, and we got Lucha Underground, guys, man, or as Sammy likes to call it, the Mexican soap opera with magic.
It's what it is. It's what it is, man. It's just awful Telemundo Spanish soap opera, and then throw in magic and maybe some science fiction if you're feeling antsy.
There you go. Well,
whatever it is, I think it's the best show on television.
100%.
And before we break it down, I just want to say, dear believers, I was going to do a separate video on this, but I don't. Dear believers, be like ECW and ROH. This goes out to English-speaking New Japan fans and believers. Don't nag people into saying it's great. Just be great. There's ECW fans, ROH fans that are like, hey, they critique it but still think it's amazing. I worry that believers are starting to become TNA fans where they just nag you into saying it's great. We don't have to nag anyone to say it's great. It's fucking amazing. Don't go the way of the TNA. Don't go the way of the TNA. Fucking no, because like this past 3 weeks, I've noticed something about believers. They're like, you have to say everything's awesome. I don't have to do shit. I think it's the best show on television. I tell people that. But, hey, we're still going to fucking critique it. ECW fans were passionate and still critiqued it. ROH fans in their prime were still passionate and critiqued it. New Japan Japanese-speaking fans are passionate but still critique it. Don't go the way of the TNA where we just go around the internet going, oh, you didn't like that, nag, 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 nag. That's another brand. We're not that way. We're better than that. And with that said, I want to apologize. 2 weeks ago, the show sucked. I was in my office, and we missed last week's show. But as a man, I am willing to put the blame on Boom Boom and LK. I had to work. I told them to do the Lucha Underground review. It never happens. As a leader, they say take the blame. As a coward, they say blame Boom Boom. I'm going the cowardly route.
It would not be the first time in his illustrious career that he's been blamed for something that was 100% not his fault.
Well, all right. Well, you can share 50% with LK. I'm just saying I am passing the buck on that one.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Now let me dust the tire tracks off my back here. And let's get started. First question out the gate, gentlemen. It's the first question we ask for every review, and we're going to ask you, the Internet Infantry at home, over here in the comment section. But you guys, I want to ask you, win, loss, or tie? Sammy, you're the noob. Let's go ahead and start with you. Would you give the show a win, a loss, or a tie?
I'm going to give it a win. I'm going to get a pretty big win here. Just in general, I've yet to be disappointed by a Lucha Underground episode yet. They just every episode is just give you a reason to watch it, which I can't always say about every wrestling episode of every wrestling promotion. There's not a person that doesn't come out that I'm not excited to see while they're out there. There's always a reason that someone's in that ring, and they just continue to do that for this week. And I know they've already been set up for season 3, and I really hope they can keep that rolling.
Yeah. When it comes to Lucha Underground, it's one of the few products, New Japan, Dragon Gate, and Lucha Underground, where I review it, but it's one of the things where I actually sit down and it can escape my shitty life, and that's what entertainment is supposed to be. When I watch a lot of pro wrestling, I'm not escaping my shitty life. It's just adding. All right, this is my shitty fucking hobby and my shitty fucking life. But when it comes to Japan's Dragon Gate, New Japan, and Lucha Underground, it's like I shut down all of Twitter. I shut down Facebook. I just sit down and enjoy it. And for that 60 minutes, 40 if you don't count commercials, the 60 minutes of Lucha Underground, I can escape my shitty life. I don't think, oh man, I have to go to that meeting. Oh man, I have to do that. Where with a lot of the products, I can't shut off my shitty life. It's just like, oh, there's a fucking noise in the background. My life still sucks. I'm not being sucked into this. And that's one thing. So I always give it a win. I think when it comes to Lucha Underground, I think the lowest score I've given them once is a tie, and that was an episode in season 1, and I've given them a couple perfects. I don't think this episode was perfect, but I give it a win. And I'm very stingy on perfects. I know a lot of Lucha Underground fans are like, ain't every show perfect? I'm like, I think since the beginning of win-loss tie, I've given less than 5 perfects. So, you got to be pretty high up there for a perfect. So I give it a strong win. I enjoyed it, and it's just like the original ECW, just like New Japan. Synister said this: you care about every single person on that roster, and that's how pro wrestling should be done. I know WWE has the monopoly, and everyone copies off WWE because of how much they're successful money-wise. But the problem with WWE is they've always banked on, well, here's Hulk Hogan, here's John Cena. It's always banked on one guy. I prefer my wrestling where I care about every single person that left the audience, and Paul Heyman did that with ECW back in the day. Absolutely. And I really enjoy it, so I give it a win. Booms, tag to you, win-loss tie.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and give it an all-out win. It's a solid win. It wasn't a perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I really feel like since Dario Cueto has come back, the show has gotten immensely better. I'm not going to lie. Some of these first few episodes, and you can go back and check out my reviews on these, I was starting to give them some grief. I was starting to have some doubt. I was sitting there thinking, well, Season 1 was really good. It's going to be a tough act to follow. I don't know if they can do it. And then when they brought back Dario Cueto, it's like, there it is. The band's back together now. And I feel like Dario is the glue that really holds the whole show together. Everything's starting to click now.
I mean, yeah, he's the Joker of that show. He's the villain, and I think that's something they've done great with ever since he came back. Is when he left in the beginning of the season, he was still. They were like, oh, it's cool to like Dario Cueto because he's a cool guy, but they have done really, really well of making him the villain that the rest of the roster, which if we want to call them the Justice League in this regard, is going after him because he's the bad guy again. And I dig that. I dig that hard.
Well, and this is going back to episode 1. I don't know if they kept it on secret. I try to avoid spoilers like the plague just because it just ruins the experience. Like, I think I found out a spoiler this week on NXT by accident because I didn't know that was going to be the match, and it kind of ruined the experience of NXT this week. I tried to avoid spoilers. I didn't know he was going to come back. And at the end of episode 1, they show him. I fucking lost my shit because I didn't know if he was returning because it was a brand new season. So I'm a huge fan of him. I think the show could survive without him, but I think the show is so much better with him.
Yeah, I'll agree.
All right, now first match here was a women's match. You had 1/3 of the Trios Tag Team Champions, Ivelisse, taking on newcomer Cobra Moon, who, by the way, wrestles in Mexico, is Thunder Rosa, which I do have an autographed 8x10 of her. That's awesome. This match was I thought it was pretty good. I like the constant use of submission holds, MMA locks. Eventually, of course, Ivelisse proved a little too much. Got the win over Cobra Moon with a sunset flip powerbomb. I believe it's called the Code Red. These two traded a lot of blows back and forth. I particularly love the T-bone suplex.
Yes.
That Ivelisse pulled off, and I thought that was amazing. There's been some criticism of Cobra Moon saying she's still too green or not good. I disagree. I think she did pretty. Now, granted, I believe that Ivelisse carried the bulk of that match, but I don't think Cobra Moon's any slouch by any standards. Now, after watching, this past week was probably the worst week for this to happen because after watching Asuka versus Bayley and then Charlotte versus Sasha versus Becky at Mania. To come out with Ivelisse and Cobra Moon, it was just a bad week for this to happen because it completely paled in comparison to the women's wrestling product that WWE is putting on right now. But I believe it was still a good match in its own right. I just think it was just the bad timing. But,
yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a really solid match. And kudos to Vampiro and Matt Striker. They are my favorite commentating team of any wrestling promotion. Just pointing out little things about Cobra Moon hissing, and like you didn't notice it, and then you started to listen. It's like, oh, I can actually hear that. That had some depth to her character. And then Cobra Moon in general pulled out some really, really creative submissions that I wouldn't have thought of. And kudos to Evilise for putting her in the position to be able to set up those. I mean, these girls put on one hell of a fight, and they didn't hold you back. There was a couple times Evilise threw some punches to some knees, and I was like, oh my god, she bashed the shit out of her. Nothing on Asuka's level, mind you. But man, it was a really solid match. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think Evilise can hold her own with the WWE girls. I think Evilise is one of the better female wrestlers out there today. Cobra Moon, I know this is gonna sound crazy because like I didn't see anything special about her. I was the person Boom Boom was describing, but I think this was kind of a breakout match for her. I didn't think she sucked. I just thought like,
that's my point. Yeah, that's my point.
I thought it released Cobra Moon. I thought this was a great breakout match. Prior to this, my view on Cobra Moon was, I'm not really sure about this girl. After this match, I'm like, oh, she can definitely fucking hang in this division. So I thought this was definitely a good breakout match for her. It release, she can hold her own against the men and the women. And I just want to go back 1 second. I'm reading these results off WrestleZone.com. Hopefully I don't get too many pop-ups. No affiliation whatsoever. I like the Vampiro boss segment. I really did. I like how Vampiro was suffering and had to do the drugs and shit. And someone that, works with veterans, like, that shit's real. You know what I mean? It just fucking hit some real shit with me.
I was going to ask you about that. For those of you who may not know what we're talking about, they did a nice vignette, a nice sit down with Killshot. They're talking about him, who he is, his past. He talked about how after right when he turned 18, he enlisted in the Marine Corps, he became a sniper.
What a bitch! I did it at 17. Killshot stealing my gimmick. Go ahead.
And then he talked about how he became, he was really good with that. He became good with his hands, and he was put on an elite squad, like a secret squad. They were dropped into hostile territory. Then him and his entire team were captured. They were held for 13 months before he was able to escape. And then he has him shooting like these stereotypical men in Middle Eastern garb, beating people up and shooting them just pow, 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 like something out of an action movie. And they talked about after all that, he decided to go into wrestling.
That's what you do, right? You kill people and go into wrestling?
Yeah, that totally makes sense. And then followed it up with, well, I don't know if any of my other guys escaped, but hopefully, I hope they did. And immediately I thought about you, Dave. Now, Dave, for those of you who may not know, Dave was in the service. Dave was in the Marine Corps. Dave was a sniper. Among other things, and I watched that vignette, and I was just kind of cringing. But so, Dave, I want to ask you. Yeah. I know it was just a vignette. It was just to hype up a character. But did you, if I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, or did you kind of find that offensive? Were you indifferent?
Oh, no. I found it to be completely fun. The one thing that I did get out of it. First off, you should pad your stats better. For a Marine, those stats weren't that impressive. It's like, and I did this, and it was like, I'm like, yeah, there's fat podcasters with better stats than that. Pat your stats a little better than that, champ. Second off, when he went fighting, I was like critiquing. I was like, that's not even line training. What the fuck's going on? You're not smashing anyone's nose with the bridge of your fucking boot. But outside of that, this is the biggest thing I got out of it. I kid you not. I was pissed I couldn't wear a luchador mask in the military. That's what I got out of it. I was so fucking angry. Like, I talked about this sometime this week in the podcast. I don't know, G.I. Joe came up. We're one of those podcasts that jump around a lot. G.I. Joe came up, and it was like, oh, so someone in the comments asked me the difference between G.I. Joe and the real military. And I said the most disappointing thing was they had a character, I think his name was Bazooka, and he could wear a football jersey. And I was pissed in the Marines, in the real military, you could never wear a football jersey. And the same fucking week, here comes goddamn Killshot, and this motherfucker's wearing a luchador mask. Do you know how much... I know it's just one small detail. And, the Marines and Army, they have to care about morale. If I could have wore a luchador mask, I probably would have stayed in another fucking 50 years. Matter of fact, any military branch out there, if you allow me... I'm fat, slow, out of shape, broken, but I can still pull a trigger. if you allow me to wear a luchador mask and serve your cause, whatever it is, Hail Cobra, Hail Hydra.
Now, to be fair, Dave, in the vignettes he was wearing a ski mask.
No, I think he was. Was he?
No,
I thought he was wearing a luchador
no, he was
mask.
wearing a ski mask. No, like when they went back to him, like today.
Son of a bitch! All right, that's it. It's off the table. I am not pulling triggers for anyone. Fuck you, Hydra. I'm only signing up. I'm pretty sure I could be mistaken, but maybe it was just I wanted to fucking so bad wear a fucking luchador mask. Oh, that'd be awesome. Let's call up your friend Obama before he leaves and make it where fucking we can wear a luchador mask. That'd be amazing.
Call my senator and be like, listen, bro, I'm fat, I'm slow, I'm out of shape. If you throw a lucha mask on me, I'll go shoot whatever brown person you need me to shoot. Just saying.
No, I actually thought it was amazing in the backstage segments. Granted, it was just pure entertainment. You know, but I love the fact when they read his stats and I'm like, bro, come on, those stats, come on. But the only thing is, there was one realistic thing. They're like, oh, and the government doesn't act like we exist. I'm like, oh, I've been there. Like, I'm like, oh, this guy's full of shit. He doesn't know what it's like. He's like, the government acts like you don't exist. Like, hey, pull up a chair, get yourself a drink. Been there, done that. But overall, I thought it was absolutely amazing, and I think all military infantry members should be handed their own luchador mask. You know what? I got to make a stand. People are always mad that I don't fucking talk about military enough. Fine, I will. I think we should. Dude, just imagine how much cooler the military would be if you could wear like your own football jersey. You know, I'd have like an old school like Allstott jersey, pop on a fucking luchador mask. Dude, I'm on. I'm in there, dude. I am fucking in there. The job just improved 1,000,000 times.
Instantly scarier. If you have a bunch of dudes running at you with luchador mask and Punisher t-shirts on, just shooting bullets in every which direction, we go from like the best military in the world to the scariest motherfuckers in the world.
Except, I mean, I think they just give up. like
fuck this, I'm not doing it.
Yep, they're just like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm not defending Hydra anymore. Fuck Cobra, fuck ISIS, fuck them all. Like, dude, we gotta go against guys in football jerseys and luchador masks? Fucking, I'm done. I am fucking done. And then, of course, they had Cortez and Joey Ryan segment. Dude, I fucking love this segment. And one thing I talked about, you know, they're cops, they're undercover cops, they have to get it. Joey Ryan's a dick in character and as a cop. Oh, man, Joey Ryan. This is just, dude, it's so fucking genius. Yeah. And know what I love the most about this is that when they go to the announce team doesn't know about the backstage segments, and it makes the fans feel like they know more than the announcers. It's such a great fucking writing style, booking style. I fucking love it.
That is an absolutely huge deal. And I actually had that specifically in my notes, where we as the audience know more than the announce team does. And I think that does wonders for what they're able to call in the ring, and for just like the backstage product in general, since they do present it more again like it's a Spanish soap opera. It gives that, it makes the willing suspension of disbelief that wrestling should have. It makes it so much easier to grasp onto, because you know, oh, this is a TV show. Like, obviously these are two separate things. These guys in the ring don't know what's going on back there. I love that.
And especially with the American product, that's been the biggest problem for a while, because, like, you know, they'd be like, oh, everyone knows about backstage segments, and then you're like, well, how shitty is all of Hulk Hogan's friends? Like, they're like, I'm just going to use one example. Hulk Hogan's wife is, not wife, well, maybe, but in a segment, Hulk Hogan's daughter is being banged by Bully Ray. The cameras catch it, okay? And, like, Impact's not on the air for, like, 2 weeks or something, and then Hogan comes by and he's like, I know nothing. I know Bubba the Love Sponge is a shitty friend, but I didn't know all of your friends are shitty. No one goes, hey, dude, at the end of Impact, you know, so, yeah, it does help storylines. It does help that. And there's also a Famous Beast segment and a Max segment, and just the way they shot it was amazing. And by the way, I found out, I want to thank the Internet Image from the bottom of my heart. Someone called up, and it's an actual real number, and it just says, leave a message, and it'll help you get famous. I wasn't going to call from Japan because it would have cost me like $900 fucking billion. And I know in my luck I would have called and it'd been some old lady like, why are you calling me? I'm like, all right, I'm sorry. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm in Japan. Why are the Japanese calling me? Like,
I thought we bombed that place.
Yeah. So the internet infantry took one for the team, called, and yeah, you can leave a message like how you want to be famous. So let's go. Let's Boom Boom. You got an assignment. Oh shoot! Oh no, that's not fair. Boom Boom's been here for a while. Sinister, you have an assignment. Okay, you're the new guy. The assignment is you got to call 423 get fame and say that you want famous B to get our subscribers and view count up.
I will be right on that.
All right. The best part is he's writing it down.
Oh,
that's awesome. All right, well, that's what happens when you're the new guy.
Yeah,
boom, boom. Does it feel good?
Oh, it feels good. And here's another thing. Do you think, like, Lucha Underground missed an opportunity for something to say that Joey Ryan was an undercover cop, but he's also working with another undercover cop who is in Lucha Underground, but, you know, you don't see who it is, and then you kind of have the audience trying to guess which other member of the roster is an undercover cop?
Yeah, I think that could have been a big missed thing, especially with us going through the entire first season, thinking that he was a heel, and it turns out, oh, he's an undercover cop. That is a huge, especially going to the Spanish soap opera thing. That's a big, just shock moment that I think we personally could have missed out on. Even though because I would like to see more of Joey Ryan and his porn cop, as I'm calling it, because that's what he is. He's a porn cop. It's the best porn cop gimmick that's ever existed. Probably the only one, but it's at least the best that I've seen. So I think they maybe missed a bullet on there, even though I'm still thoroughly enjoying the dynamic.
I'm going to give you your first Lee Corso. Not so fast, my fellow friend. I think, yeah, the surprise would have been great, but here's the thing. Cortez and his buddy were absolutely fucking worthless.
Yeah.
The fact that he was a cop, and you're like, holy shit, he's been a cop the whole time, to the audience, I think, adds value right away. Where, like, if they had the surprise, yeah, it might have been a big surprise later on, but that whole time it wasn't a surprise, he's still a worthless fucking cunt on the roster. So I think the fact that, and not only, but I think if you watch season 1, it's still a surprise. Like, oh, fuck, that makes a lot of sense. You know? So, you got your first Lee Corso. I disagree, my fellow friends.
All right.
All right. Next, actually, speaking of Joey Ryan, you know, they're starting the trios tournament, and so this was the first match in that. You had Joey Ryan teaming up with the Crew, Mr. Cisco and Cortez Castro, to take on Marty the Moth Martinez, his sister Mariposa, and the Mac. Talk about dysfunctional tag teams here. This one broke down rather quickly. I love the fact that Joey Ryan wanted to immediately wrestle Mariposa. Just immediately, I was like, no, give me the girl. You know, and there was a lot of tagging in and out. Both these teams are both dysfunctional. And finally, I like the spots on the outside. Mariposa tried to stop the Mac from doing a dive, but he just kicked her off and then just did a planche onto the outside anyway. Then Marty and the Mac kind of got into a little chopping contest, and finally Mac said, "The hell with it," him with a stunner. The Crew hit this. It was a great tag team move. It was like a version of the 3D, but it was like an elevated DDT. They get the pin. Ryan swoops in, gets the win for the team. This brings out Sexy Star to save the Mac, and then eventually she starts beating around Mariposa until Marty the Moth Martinez pulls her out of the ring. A lot of things going on with this match. I like the one that they're doing the Trios Tag Team Tournament all over again. This is not necessarily a spoiler, but I believe Eva Lise breaks her leg a little bit later on in this season, because I don't know if it was this season or next season, but she hurt her leg again. So maybe this is whoever wins this is going to eventually become the Trios Tag Team Champions. I like, you know, that you gotta have. Well, no, it's been up. It's been up. I don't know if it's this season or next season or, you know, but somewhere in the. I'm just mentioning that.
Boom, boom. Give yourself a penalty. I'm gonna punch you right in the fucking balls. But go on.
Yeah, but so I mean, whoever wins, I like the fact you had two dysfunctional tag teams. You had the Mac obviously hated Martinez and his sister. You had Joey Ryan, who's just an ultimate douche, teaming up with the Crew.
Porn cop.
I'm beginning to think that maybe Dario Cueto was actually sniffed him out. Maybe that's why he put them together. Maybe that could be, something that Cueto sniffed them out, put them together so he could keep them together, and then it's going to just basically use them all together to get rid of them. Maybe put them up against some monsters. I don't know. Maybe that could be something a little bit later. I do like the ending when eventually the Mac finally could not work with Martinez and gave him a stunner. Stone Cold! Stone Cold! Sorry, I had to do that.
Oh, God!
And then after that, Mariposa gets in and starts beating down the Mac. Sexy Star comes out and makes the save. And I just felt it was like a cathartic thing. After seeing her cringe and be scared of Mariposa, to finally see her just kick her ass, throw around that ring, till Marty had to go in and save her. To me, I was just like, wow, that just felt so good. To see finally Sexy Star, who is a cornerstone of Lucha Underground in my opinion, get that revenge. And and here's another thing, and this is for the Internet Infantry. Is there anybody on this roster, that are big in Mexico but not in the U.S. and vice versa? They're not very big in Mexico, but they're big in the United States. Because I'm asking that is about Sexy Star, because Sexy Star is super over here in the U.S. But is she that over in AAA? I guess that's
I want to say she was that over in AAA. She was their Reyes champion for a long time, and I believe multiple times. And on being the Reyes champion, I'm just going to throw this in there. It was recently, maybe a year or two ago, she did a photo shoot with the Latino Sports Illustrated, something along those lines, where she did a full photo shoot in the ring with the Reyes belt, her mask, and nothing else. It's pretty hot.
I know. I had that edition laminated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sexy Star was a star that down in Mexico, because I just remember hearing headlines. First off, I watch it, but I'm not an expert in Mexican wrestling, but I do watch it, and I remember Sexy Star was a big star. But I remember there was a huge story. WWE turned her down because she wasn't good looking enough, and people were legit fucking angry, legit angry. And I don't know if they've ever rebounded from that. Stephanie the Feminist over there should have said something. But I think she's a beautiful woman with a mask, without a mask, and she's one of the best female wrestlers in the world. I put her top 5, maybe. Depends on your style. But I definitely, and she was definitely over.
Let me ask you this: the dysfunctional trios tag teams. I mean, is that something that's kind of played out? Because it worked well last year with Son of Havoc and Helico and Evilise. But in trying to do it again, is it trying to capture lightning twice in a bottle, or do you think it works?
I think it works a little better here, in just that we at least know, the audience knows with Joey Ryan and the crew, that there's going to be some cooperation there because they know each other. So they're not really dysfunctional, but they're going to give the illusion to the crowd and to the commentary that they're but really they're a pretty notch group. Everyone else we'll kind of see on them, but since the Mac and Martinez and all of them got kicked out, well, let's kind of have to see. By the way, real quick, how awesome was the Mac in this match?
He's awesome all the time. Loving the Mac is wrong. I don't want to be right. No, I just want to add on to Boom Boom's question. I think it makes sense. If it was a complete lottery, it would be bullshit. But we know the boss is pulling the strings, so we're like, oh, it makes sense why these people would fucking hate each other. It actually, and not that, but it also builds storylines. So, hey, Monty the Moth and the Mac lose, but hey, there's a storyline there. And, if it's dysfunctional, even if they lose, it adds to the story. So I think it's win-win. If it was just pure lottery, oh my god, but then it would be like, this is fucking dumb. But the fact that, there's a guy just being a dick about it just adds to it. And I like the dysfunctional tag teams because no matter who wins or loses, yeah, they don't go on in a tournament, but it still adds value to their storylines and their feud. So I enjoy it a lot. And I just want to add one more thing. Yeah, I'm really happy about Sexy Star becoming strong, because I remember her being afraid in the segment lifting weights. And just my opinion, thinking out loud, I was like, this has gone on way too long. It's like I miss Brave Sexy Star. Like last year, she was Roman Reigns. Write this down. She was the ultimate fucking role model. And I was like, man, it just sucks. It sucks that she has to be afraid this whole fucking season. I hope it turns around. And bam, it turned around later in the show, and I was like, oh, thank God. Thank Terry Funk that Sexy Star is back. But no, I enjoyed it a lot. And it's funny because, you know, in a segment later, I guess we can talk about it now if you don't mind. We're going a little out of order tonight with 3 hosts. It's kind of hard to go in order. Mm-hmm. I think it's the opposite. Later on, there's a big shock, and you have Prince Puma, Rey Mysterio Jr., and fucking Green Guy who's been in everything in the background. I call him background lucha.
El Dragon Azteca.
All right, we'll call him Mr. Dragon. I thought the fact that they were a team, I was like, what the fuck? Why would the boss let these 3 guys be a team? And on top of that, I was like, well, one cool thing was Rey Mysterio was like, I found this guy on the street. Because season 1, they all hinted at Rey Mysterio Jr. finding Prince Puma, but they couldn't say it. So I was like, fuck yeah. Woo! They finally said it, so it felt like a good relief for being a longtime believer. But with that said, you're like, what the fuck is the boss thinking? And not that, but like you sit back and you're like, how the fuck don't these guys win? You have Prince Puma, you have Rey Mysterio Jr., which is, you know, one of the most famous luchadors of all time, and then you have the guy that fucking they're building this long storyline behind. If you remember, he was in the first episode ever. So you have this guy that they're doing this long build for. You have Prince Puma, in my opinion, the face of the company. And then you have the most famous luchador of all time. And I'm like, what the fuck is the boss thinking? And now it got to the point, if these fuckers don't win, because you couldn't pick up a bigger hype. Super long storyline, former champion, face of the company, most popular luchador of all time. Like, you couldn't have picked a fucking dream team bigger than that. And now it's got to the point, like, anything but them winning it all is a letdown. So I thought, like, I don't know. I was happy and disappointed at the same time. I was like, yeah! Like, I feel like they're a USA Dream Team in basketball. These fuckers better win by, like, 90 or I'm going to be let down.
I have a lot of faith.
Yeah, but you're forgetting one important aspect about this vignette here. One very important thing you did not mention. For the first time ever, Prince Puma actually spoke dialogue. It took all the way from Season 2, Episode 11, for him to finally utter a word. He said, me, and then after that, he said, you know, you're damn right, and that's it.
I do believe he talked once in Season 1, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, I don't think so. We'll have to go back, because I'm pretty sure that was the perfect game. I don't think he ever talked. And same thing with the champion at the end.
There were times where it was like he was going to talk, but he kept getting interrupted.
Yeah, okay. I don't think he ever talked in Season 1. I am 92% sure. Like, someone would have to show me a clip for me to believe he talked, because I think that was a big thing that we were talking about last year. Because, you know, I'm a fucking failed writer, and let me tell you something about being a failed writer. In television or in books, if you can get a character over without them ever speaking, in writing, that is like a perfect game. You know, like, the less dialogue you do and get someone over is like the perfect game. And I don't know, it's just something writers take pride in. It's like, wow, like I remember Stephen King, he took pride in, he wrote a 1-hour show that people found interesting and not one word of dialogue. So, like, yeah, the less dialogue you do, the better the writer you are. With that said, mine fucking leagues, my books read like a goddamn podcast because I'm a hack.
on these guys coming together to be trios, I have faith in them. I have faith in the writers of this and of Lucha, because I was super excited to see these 3 guys come together, because it's like the Avengers coming together, and you know they're going against Loki, and Loki is, again, to use that comic reference because we're all nerds here, Loki is El Jefe. He's Cueto. So, but the thing that we can always assume about Dario Cueto is that he knows everything that happens in the temple. So I would be saying, like, oh, why would he put these guys together? I think he has a perfect reason for why he put them together. And he's got something for them, because he's always going to be one step ahead of everyone else in that temple. So I have faith that they're going to make a really good story out of this. And those, I watched some of the Dragon Azteca stuff from AAA when he wasn't going by Dragon Azteca. I forget his other name. Kid's good. Kid's real good. So I have a lot of faith. Like, to me, Prince Puma is to Lucha Underground what Sami Zayn was to NXT. He is the heart and soul of this place.
Now we go to the main event. Fenix looking for a rematch here to reclaim his Lucha Underground Championship against the Monster, Matanza Cueto, or as you know, we should call him by his birth name, and that is Mexican Jason Voorhees. Just Matanza is just a fucking absolute beast. This is like Brock Lesnar done right. He's a big guy. He can fucking move. He can hit those German suplexes. I like that fucking reverse, that German suplex into the ropes right there into the turnbuckles. That was just fucking brutal. Kept just picking Fenix up and slamming him down, bounced his head off the canvas like a basketball. Took him to the outside, caught him, slammed him to the mat. He eventually got him back into the ring, powerbombed him, got the win. Matanza wasn't done. It was like he was going to try to break him in half. And then Katrina, of all people, yelled for Matanza to stop. Then Mil Muertes came out, attacked Matanza from behind, and then took off. And then Cueto, him and his brother went ahead and took off. There was a little look between Fenix and Katrina. And this was just... Now we've got a new setup here. You got, Death is now coming from Matanza. Nobody could beat him, but Mil Muertes never could get his hands on him. Can Death stop the Monster? I like that presence. And plus, is this a face turn from Mil Muertes, or is it Katrina being greedy, or does Katrina still kind of have feelings for Fenix? I mean, there's just all kinds of there's just tons of stuff right here, and I feel like you could go with just a ton of different directions with it, which is what I like. But let me ask you this. Okay, Sammy, I'll start with you here. How do you feel like they're portraying, this monster heel Matanza? Do you feel like he's, not a very good wrestler? They're just kind of getting him by, or do you think he's worth a lot of the hype that they've invested in him over the past season and a half?
I'm going to take the middle ground. I think he's an absolute fantastic wrestler. He can move. He's got a great move set, and I don't like his look. I think the jumpsuit is stupid. I mean, he works great. My problem with him is twofold. In a product where you have Mil Muertes, Matanza doesn't stand out very much to me. And literally, it's funny that you also said, because watching this match, he beat Fenix. I'm like, you know what match I'd really like to see? Him versus Mil Muertes. 3 seconds later, there's Mil Muertes. I was like, that'd be cool. I'll watch that match. I mean, honestly, this match was the kind of the low point for me. It wasn't a bad match. I mean, it was serviceable, but Matanza just, as it is right now, outside of being Cueto's brother, and if that's to be believed, and being a monster, he doesn't quite have a place right now, because especially coming off Mil Muertes at the beginning of the season, where he's sitting on a fucking Conan throne of skulls and scowling for 3.5 hours and being a badass. I'm just not on the Matanza hype yet. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm hoping they change my mind.
Coco, what do you think about the storytelling aspect?
I don't know. I think just like Cobra Moon, this show, he's winning me over and over. I talked about this when he first appeared. I thought he was too small just for the character that they were designing. But, a lot of people are comparing him to an ECW Taz. He wins me over with the fucking suplexes. It's one of those things, like, fucking, there's two things, dear pro wrestling.
Actually, he's not that small. He's not that small. He's
compared to the character, you gotta remember they were always looking up to him in the cage. He was fucking biting people's heads off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, he might not be small as a man, but for the character they betrayed him as, I was like, who the fuck is this? But if you're a pro wrestler and you want to win me over, sexy suplexes and sexy arm bars. That's all it fucking takes. If you do a shitty arm bar, fuck you. I hope you die. Take pride in your fucking arm bars, pro wrestlers. Take pride in your fucking arm bar. Dude, there's nothing sexier than a fucking sweet-ass fucking arm bar, and there's nothing more horrible in life than you fucking just, this is an arm bar. Fucking want to punch you all in the face. Can't fucking put on a goddamn proper arm bar. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. I just like Cobra Moon. I think he's winning me over. I think I wasn't on board, but I'm seeing where it's going. I'm a little disappointed that Fenix has to be the sacrifice lamb because he wins the championship and then bam he loses it, and then he gets his rematch and bam he loses it. I thought Fenix deserved better than that, but I don't know. But also they have because when it comes to the main event, Muratas versus Matanza. Sorry, I'm mispronouncing this. My Spanish is horrible. I feel like it feels like New Japan's Naito Okada this weekend. I want to fucking see this match beyond belief, but is it too soon? But unlike New Japan, Lucha Underground's like, yeah, it's too fucking soon because fuck, man, the season's almost, we're doing seasons here. So I was happy. I enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to Milmurto's feud. I like the fact that they both have objects. They both control their monsters. I don't know. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm glad where it's going. I think maybe it's going a little too fast, but the good thing about it going too fast is they're not relying on just that. They have a whole fucking roster of awesome characters that we can get behind and cheer for.
There's a couple points we skipped over. Something I'd like to know. Maybe I'm just a complete loser and I noticed them.
All right. Don't worry. You're not a loser. You're a nerd, and you're in nerd fucking central, pal.
There you go.
I gave yourself a little pat on the back. Watch the comment be so fucking stupid. I'm like, don't worry, pal. We're here for you. This is fucking nerd central. This is the read the comment. I'm like, you fucking loser.
Well, and season 3, you can clearly think no. When we came back from the commercial before the trios match, there was a big question mark sprayed over the Lucha sign, and they showed somebody spraying it. So obviously that's
I imagine it's Mysterio. I always thought it was Mysterio. I could be wrong.
It could be.
I thought Rey Mysterio was tagging shit. He's like, yeah, I'm a multi-millionaire from being in WWE, but you know what? I still fucking tag shit.
Yeah,
I could be wrong. Boom, boom, you be the judge. Is it Mysterio?
I think so, because that question mark was put on the Lucha Underground sign at the end of season 1.
Was it?
Yeah, that was put.
It
was on the
I
very.
could have sworn you saw somebody shaking up spray paint.
Yeah, it did happen. Yeah, that did happen. But the question mark has been on the sign since into season 1. They put a big question mark. I thought that.
Are you sure? Because I thought it was the start of season 1 or season 2.
Yeah, it was the very last episode.
We're getting our timing down. But I always thought it was Mysterio spray painting it.
I
was like, hey, I'm a fucking multi-millionaire. Let me just go around tagging shit for no reason. If Bruce Wayne can do it, why can't Rey Mysterio?
If you'll also look on that sign, you will also see it's small, but you'll see a graffiti name in the lower right-hand corner and the upper left-hand corner. Maybe that's what that was.
Okay. I mean, I bring that up because of this. One of the themes that has prevailed throughout this season that came up in nearly every match and every segment we went over is a mystery. There's a mystery on every level of this season, and I think the format that it's in is the reason they're allowed to do that. And that's the biggest reason I keep coming back and watching. Beyond the fact I'm a wrestling fan and Lucha is my favorite style, I always jump into Lucha Underground going, okay, what am I going to learn this week? What other new mysteries are going to pop up? Like at the very beginning with Vampiro, the end of last season, they made a very good distinction between whatever Vampiro's real name is. I can't quite recall right now.
Ian Hodgkins.
But they made a big distinction between Ian Hodgkinson and Vampiro. And I think that first segment was showing that Vampiro's still there. We can kind of make that sense. And just every match had a sense of mystery somewhere in it. And that's one of my biggest things that I love about this show.
Oh, good. You were looking for me to mock you, but I saw your face. You're like, Dave's going to fucking mock me. I'm the new guy. He's going to be a dick. Boom, do you want to go to live comments, or do you want to say something before we go to live comments?
We're going to do live comments. So
do you want to drive the bus? Because if I drive the bus, we'll fucking read everything. They'll be like, hey, have you checked out my Minecraft Let's Play channel? I'll be like, yeah, sure, let's check it out on air. Boom Boom hates live comments when I do it, because I read everything.
You read everything, because if we let Dave read it, it's going to be, oh my god, the sun's coming up, we need to go to bed.
I got to work a 14-hour shift tomorrow, so I eventually got to get some sleep.
All right. All right, here we go.
Bring the best comments out of the comments section.
All right, let's see here. This is from Ray Mastani, one of his 7 billion fucking comments, so we'll be hitting him a lot. Is it a good idea to turn Mil Muertes face with Katrina? I like him better as a heel, personally.
Yeah, he's better as a heel. I think they're probably going to keep him heel, too. They'll find a way.
I think with the style show they're doing, I don't think there are heels and faces. I think you just fucking decide. Like, I think they're just like, here's a fucking story, you decide. I mean, there are heels and faces, but I don't think Mil Muertes is going to come out in fucking neon green shirts and be like, you can't fucking see me, I do this for the kids. I think it's just, there's a feud between two powerful dark forces. So, yeah. I don't think he's going to change. I think he's still going to be him. Well, at least that's what I hope. That's what I think, and that's what I hope.
I think, kind of playing off of that, I don't really think, to get existential for a second, they don't have faces and heels. They have heroes and villains. And sometimes, if you want to go by a comic book world, sometimes villains fight one another. You know, sometimes Darkseid will fight in the new, or one of the other dark new gods. So when you have Mil Muertes going up against Matanza, that's just two villains that are fighting for supremacy.
All right, good. Hey, good answers. All right, this one is specifically for you, Sammy. This is from Ray Mastani. That consider this your initiation here. He likes to do a lot of sexually based questions, so here you go.
Have you ever masturbated to a piece of toast?
I plead the fifth.
All right, now, but he plays a little game. It's called Fuck, Marry, Kill, and Spank.
Oh God, we're throwing a fourth one in there?
Yep. So, and your options are Sasha Banks, Paige, Lana, and Carmella.
We're gonna go ahead and kill friggin' Paige, because she gets on my nerves.
Thank you. Now was a brotherhood. I thought I was the only person that fucking found Paige to be fucking annoying.
She's hotter.
Now we can be friends. Are we best friends now? We are best friends now.
Yeah, but Paige gets on my nerves. I think she's a beautiful woman, but because I have a roommate that absolutely loves her, doesn't care about wrestling, thinks Paige is beautiful. Because she's moon-tanned is the term I came up with her, but she's annoying. So we got Carmella, so I think I'll spank Carmella just to make her make funny sounds, I guess. She's got that Jersey accent going for her, why not? And what were my other two?
You've got Lana and Sasha Banks left.
We will fuck Lana, marry Sasha Banks.
All right. Y'all, let's see here. Is LK sick again? Probably because of Ryder, LOL, because LK hates Zack Ryder. No, LK's fine. I actually spoke with him earlier. I was going to see if he wanted to jump in on this review, but he told me no. He's actually going to be reviewing SmackDown and Evolve coming up a little bit later, so be sure to check that out. I'll go ahead and plug it now, but you can check out LK's VIP. It's only not if you sign up now, you get 2 weeks for free, but after that, it's only 99 cents a month. Yeah, that's right, 99 cents a month. So you get, he cranks out at least one podcast, maybe two, per day for his VIP users. So be sure to check that out. Let's see here. Is it good for Roman Reigns to be a tweener?
No.
It's not good for Roman Reigns to be alive.
I don't go that far.
You can't be half pregnant. You either are or you aren't. So I think Reigns either needs to be a face or he needs to be a heel.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even if you are a tweener, that means you're fucking cool. Even if you are a tweener, that means you have to be able to cut promos. Even if you are a tweener, no. Being a tweener actually takes talent. It does. It's hard to be a tweener because
I don't know if I can name more than three. Truth be told, it's very hard to be a tweener. But I'm with Boom Boom on this one. I'm not even going to say he's got to go face or go full heel. He's got to go full heel. He just needs to start hurting the people, and then people will start getting behind him more.
And I don't want to hear this, he gets booed, he's already a fucking heel. Fuck you, John Cena. Fuck you, John Cena. Fuck you, John Cena. Fuck you, John Cena. Go.
Let's see. Next, do you think Shane will stick around? I personally doubt it. I think he'll be around for a little bit longer, but I don't think this is gonna be like a long term. He's got his own company to handle.
Yeah, but by Payback, he's gone.
I don't think he shows up next week. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I think that's the last we've seen of Shane until he fucking decides to come back later.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, we're gonna play. All right, now we have to play Push, Bury, Fire. We have three wrestlers here, and this is all in their prime, by the way. Which one would you push, which one would you bury, and which one would you fire? Your options are Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, and Edge.
Jesus.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy as fuck for me. I didn't even have to fucking think.
Go for
I'd
it.
push Kurt Angle to the prime. I'd push Kurt Angle to the moon. I would kill Edge, and I would bury Jericho, because Jericho could at least cut promos to save his burial. But yeah, I would definitely fire Edge. I know this is going to be fucking very unpopular, but
No, I was never a big Edge fan.
nope. I mean, Christian and Edge, completely awesome. Edge by himself, it's just like...
Wasn't big on the Radar Superstar thing.
But I don't know. I'm in the minority. For me, it was Super. Like, I thought you guys... I don't know. Do you disagree? Agree? Anyone?
No, that's exactly where I would have went.
I disagree. I would push Edge. I would bury Angle, and I'd fire Jericho.
This motherfucker. Now, question, Boo Boobs. Be honest. Is it because in their primes, you know Jericho would one day give a blowjob to John Cena on a WWE Network podcast? Like, do you see yourself as a time traveler? Do you go like Jericho, I love you now, but you're not going to believe the person you turn into? Why? Do I become a huge asshole or something? That's an understatement, Jericho. That is an understatement.
You have to come with me. You have to come with me, Jericho. Back to the future.
Because Jericho back in his prime was amazing. I don't know, and he's still good. He's just...
He sings in a shitty band and is covered with shitty tattoos.
That true. But besides that, he's like a really educated person who still gives blowjobs behind a dumpster. He's like, I don't even need the money. I'm not. Fucking, I'll do it anyway. Fucking Jericho. Poor guy. You know what? Let's just pretend he passed away. Maybe the world would be a better place.
His career's dead, in my opinion.
Like, you know, we just talk about his past. We don't talk about his present. Or we just call him formally Lionheart.
The thing he was doing for a while that was awesome was when he wasn't on TV, he was just doing house shows. And I got to see one of his house shows down in the good old Montgomery, Alabama. And it was great. He put on a great show. He did a little small promo, hyped it up with Luke Harper, and it was great. And if more of the legend wrestlers did that, I think it'd be better, because I know Batista has been saying for a while, even though I hate Batista, he's been saying for a while that he wanted to do that. He just wanted to do house shows. And if Jericho went back to just doing house shows, I mean, that's a great place for him. Building up the younger talent, giving them more experience.
I just can't forgive him. One day, it was the middle of the night, I walked in on WWE Network, and then there was Jericho doing a podcast with John Cena, and I was done. I was like, dude, look at you. Look what you've become. Like, I wish I could time travel, and like, we're in Japan, in some fucking rusty dojo, and like, come with me, Jericho! He's like, who's that? Fuck you, come with me, Lionheart! And we just come back, and we're just like, this is you! And it's just me, with maybe ECW, maybe Japan, and possibly WCW Jericho, and then we just kick the fucking door in. I got like 3 Jerichos from the past. I'd be like, that's what you become! And then all the Jerichos just tackle them. Ah, that would be amazing. I need a time machine, gentlemen. Get on that.
Okay.
Are you telling me, dude, think about it, Lionheart. You don't think Lionheart, like if you had a time machine, you picked up Lionheart, like, hey, get in Lionheart. He's like, sure, why not? You know, there's no conversation. He just trusts you. Do you trust me? And we sat back. We just appear on stage at the WWE Network, and he's interviewing John Cena. I'm saying Lionheart takes him out. That's just me. We got way off topic.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Now, Dave,
welcome to hosting a show with Dave Coco. I'm sorry.
all right, Dave, here's a question for you, actually, since this is more of a writing question. This is up your alley. Why doesn't WWE use logic anymore in their storylines?
You have an old man driving the wheel, hiring a bunch of failed Hollywood writers that can't go back to their family and say they failed at another TV show. That's why you have an old man who's absolutely crazy. I mean, look, Lucha Underground, we absolutely loved. Christy Joseph will tell you, that's all former WWE writers. It's Vince McMahon. And I know it's easy to blame the fucking writers and suck off Vince McMahon, but every writer who leaves is like, dude, you have no idea how bad it is. You have no idea. And the reason why they get failed Hollywood writers is, A, they can boss them around because they don't know much about pro wrestling. and B, they've already failed at Hollywood. You got to understand, most of these writers, their family sent them to UCLA, USC, the most expensive universities in the world, and they have college debt beyond fucking belief. They told their father and grandparents and their mother and their family that they're fucking writers. They fail at Hollywood. This is all they got. It reminds me of the scene. You know, I think it's a Gentleman movie or something. He's like, I've got nowhere else to go. That's what they want in writers. That's what they want. They don't want successful writers. They don't want writers that are been bookers and promoters. They want people that are absolutely afraid to leave because of college debt and telling their family they failed again. So they just fucking sit there and put up with bullshit. And you probably get fucking beat and worn down. It's absolutely fucking horrible. Not only that, but you got to work with pro wrestlers who don't have a creative fucking bone in their body, cannot tell you story structure to save their fucking life. Like, you don't understand the business. Well, yeah, no shit, I don't understand the business because I fucking went to goddamn writing school. That's your actual degree. When you graduate, they're like, congratulations, writing school. And, dude, that's it. It's like, and it's funny because like sometimes I bash the writers, but they fucking completely failed at life, and they're just stuck there listening to an old fucking man and been like, yep. And I guarantee there's been a writer that's been writing there for like 7-8 years, hasn't pitched an idea yet, but hasn't been fired. He's just like, fuck it, sure, yeah. I mean, because if you think about it, I want you to do this. Write down from when Shane McMahon shows up to this Monday Night Raw. Write it down as if they're characters. Go to your local university or local community college or local writing room and tell them the story. They will all tell you that's the worst story that's ever been fucking written. You know nothing about story structure, and you're a fucking horrible human being. They might be nicer about it, but that's what they're saying in their head. The problem is, it is the writers, because none of them have the balls to stand up and be like, this is a horrible fucking idea, but it's also who they choose. They're not choosing great bookers, they're not choosing great promoters, and they're not getting the cream of the crop writers. Go look at the highest paid Hollywood writers. Go look at the highest paid television writers. Go look at the highest paid novelists. Go look at some of the best writers in the business and say WWE. And A, they don't know what it is, or B, they're like, yeah, why the fuck would I do that? Why would I do that? And there's people that there's a lot of writers that just reject WWE. There's thousands of them. Like, yeah, why the fuck would I do that? Travel around, get paid, fucking listen to fucking Freebird tell me how fucking story structure works? Yeah, I'm gonna fucking get on that. It's a shitty fucking job. And then, now here's the thing, as a fan, you think it's a dream job. You're like, this is the greatest job in the world. But once you actually have a writing gig, you realize it's a horrible fucking job. And not only that, but it's creative people just being crushed. You know, and look at how awesome Lucha Underground is. Every single writer just left WWE or got fired. And now they're putting on some of the best writing in the world. The problem is Vince McMahon has the last say. That's the problem. So you could have the greatest storylines in the world, but if Vince is like, no, I want my son to be in a storyline that makes no sense at all. I love WWE guys trying to defend it. Like, well, because they come to a point where they're stuck in the story, and then they just add their own. They're like, well, see, the reason why Shane did that is because... No, that wasn't part of the story. You're adding that. You're not allowed to add shit to defend the story. Write what happened in the Shane McMahon storyline, and then give that to anyone. Anyone, and listen, you know, there's different levels of writers. Some people have contracts, some people are bestsellers, some people are published, ghostwriters. If anyone has made over $60 selling writing, they'll tell you that's a horrible fucking story. That's it. You don't even need, like, not even that much. Be like, hey, have you ever made over $60 writing? Yes. What do you think of this story? Be like, that's fucking horrible. It's absolutely garbage.
I made 20. Close.
All right, well, we get back to you. But it's just go to a local writing group. I challenge you. It's a horrible, and that's the thing. I don't even know if you can blame the writers. They're just, and the thing is, it's mean to say, but it's true. They're pathetic people that have nowhere else to go. And they're in debt. They're in debt beyond fucking belief. There are probably 80 million awesome ideas in WWE Creative. You bring it up once or twice, and Freebird's like, hey, fuck you, that's not how wrestling's done. And Vince is like, hey, you fucking racial slur here. And then fucking like bam, you're fucking like, all right, that's it. I'm sure. You know, it's just not. As a fan, you think it's the greatest job in the world, but as a writer who's been paid over fucking, as a writer who's ever paid a bill with your writing, you're like, no, that's a horrible job. You know, if you go to
Dave, how should wrestling? How should professional wrestling be run nowadays?
Well, I think Lucha Underground's doing a great job. I think New Japan's doing a great job. There are people doing a great job. I think it is. This is just my opinion, and just like every other writer in stories, opinions change. First off, you should pay attention to the product. You should have, especially at WWE, you should have 2 or 3 guys that are on your writing team that do nothing but research. And they're like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. There's a loophole. There's a plot hole. There's this. There's that. There should be a team of fucking nerds that are just like, no, you can't do that because it doesn't connect. Because Futurama, Lost, Lucha Underground, great television shows, pay attention. Like, as a fan of something, nothing pisses you off more than like, oh no, that just doesn't make sense because of this. And it doesn't matter if you're reading a book, if you're reading, you know, like Futurama. I pick Futurama a lot because a lot of people don't know how well that writing was.
Oh, it was great.
They fucking do. Like, I know it sounds crazy because it's a comedy and making fun of sci-fi, but I would use that as an example. They have a shadow in the first episode that comes into a factor in one of their many season finales. That's just amazing that they thought that in advance. As a writer, you should have a map you planned in advance, and if you don't even have a map and plan in advance, you should read it over and over and over with editors to make sure something doesn't. Like, my biggest fear is like, hey, on chapter 1, there's this. Like, I remember the other day, I almost shit my pants because we were talking about. They were asking me stuff about the book that wasn't in the book. I'm like, oh fuck, that doesn't make sense. And my editors, and I was like fucking legit. I'm like, oh my god, that doesn't make sense. And the editor's like, don't worry, it's not in the book. I'm like, I know, but in my head, it doesn't make sense. And like, I started flipping the fuck out. My editor's like, you're a fucking psychopath. But you should have a fucking psychopath like that fucking knows. Like, you know, there's something in my book that's not in my book that doesn't make sense. And that's fucking flipping me the fuck out. I'm like, oh my god, in my head it does not connect. And like, yeah, but no reader knows that. Only you know that. I'm like, I can't sleep! I can't sleep! So they have to have like 4 or 5 guys. And when you're booking, you know, Lucha Underground has a disadvantage of this because they have to go so far in advance. So they have a bigger risk. But WWE doesn't. It's like an orchestra. You have a goal, and then when you adjust it slowly with the fans. You call it semper gummi, always flexible. And you hear the fans out. So you have a goal of where you want to get to. If that goal's not working, because like I remember in my car driving to an event, this is what I would always do in my head. What if this guy didn't show up? What if this guy didn't show up? What if this guy gets injured? What happens if this? As a real storyteller, that is, you have other factors. Because in a novel, you really don't have factors. In a TV show, you have a little bit of factors. But in wrestling, you have a lot of factors that could go wrong. You have to be stressing 24/7 and know your characters and where you're going so well that if someone gets injured, someone quits, the fans don't have the right reaction, you can adjust. Where you're just like, where most promotions like, no, this is where we're going, fuck you, come along for the ride. And it's like, no, you have to know, you know, like, I hate fucking doing inside baseball, as John Cena would say. But I remember one time talking with WWE, fucking they're like, hey, what would you do with John Cena? How would you get John Cena over? And I said, that's the wrong question. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, well, the fact that you said, how would you get John Cena over is the wrong question. That's not how storytelling's done. You fucking tell a story, and if the guy doesn't get over, you adjust. You adjust from there. But just saying, how do you get this one guy over? It's like, that's the wrong way to go about it. And they just looked at me like, you're going to be a problem, ain't you? But, yeah, you have to adjust on the fucking fly. And you have to in your head. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me ask you this in regard to writing WWE. Do you think the amount of TV they have to write per week is something that holds them back as well? You think that's a factor?
This is a big battle. This is a big battle in my head. I say no. If you had good writers, you can do long storylines. But WWE always proves me wrong, that it's always a horrible idea. I think it's way harder. I think every time you add an hour of television, it's harder. But I also think WCW and the Prime did it right. WCW in their prime, they went 3 hours, and they were great in their prime. It was because they had the cruiserweights, they had the main event, they had these feuds. I think if you are going to go 3 hours, you have to trust your writers. You have to trust your talent. The problem is you're going 3 hours and you trust in nobody. It's like, all right, we got 3 hours. How can we get Roman Reigns over? Well, what if we spent an hour on Dolph Ziggler? Fuck you! It's all about Roman Reigns. All right. You know what I mean?
And that's another question. That's another question, Dave. Is it wise to put Roman Reigns against AJ Styles?
For Vince McMahon's goal and wanting to keep your job, yes. For a good outcome, no. God, no. It's a horrible idea. It's the worst fucking idea I've ever fucking heard in my life. But you got to remember, these guys have to fucking pay their bills. They have to. And you'd be like, oh, they sold out. Well, yeah, of course they sold out. They're failed writers from Hollywood. This ain't their fucking dream. You know, like, it's always like, WWE writers sold out. Yeah, no shit. One day he's working on My Name is Earl. The next day he's fucking getting yelled at by fucking Michael PSA's, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and fucking Vince. Of course he's sold out. You know, like, I always like that fucking term, like, WWE writers sold out. Yeah, no shit. You think anyone woke up that morning going, wow, I'm glad I'm getting yelled at by fucking Stephanie. Yeah, that's what the fuck I wanted, you know. It's just, yeah, you sold out. It's the same thing with, like, I've ghostwritten a lot of shit. A lot of shit. Shit. And I tell you, I ghostwritten so much shit that I don't tell my best friends what I've ghostwritten. Like, I was like, hey, what have you ghostwritten? It is so fucking horrible, these celebrity ghost-written books I've written, that I don't even tell my closest friend. Like, I'll go see a psychiatrist, like, Dave, let it go. Who did you ghostwrite for? I'm like, never. That secret dies with me. But, you know, people come up to me like, oh, you fucking sold out because you ghostwritten. No shit! No shit, I've sold out! You don't have to fucking tell me. And that's what WWE writers have done. They've sold out. It's not the dream of growing up with a pad writing shit. Because the thing is, they want to control you. Go ahead.
You think it can be fixed?
Not with Vince McMahon alive.
So that was my next question. Do you think if Triple H were to gather the reins and start heading this wagon out, do you think that that's going to make a tremendous difference?
As a fan, I hope so. As a fan, because here's the thing: all that Triple H has on his resume is he takes credit for NXT. We don't know what happens behind the scenes. He might just be taking credit for it. He might really be booking it. All we have to go off of is Triple H takes credit for NXT, and we enjoy NXT. That's all we can go off.
How did I miss this?
And then with that said is that Triple H is our last hope. I've said this a lot. People are like, oh, when are you going to stop watching WWE? I've grinded this long, and it's harder and harder. The fact that Roman Reigns is playing the part of John Cena makes it even harder to grind through. But I know I'm giving Triple H, when Vince McMahon steps down and Triple H is running everything, I'm giving Triple H 2 years. And in 2 years, Triple H running shit, I have to walk away because I'm going to die soon. WWE is never going to be a product I will enjoy. You know what I mean? So, like, that's where I draw the line. But I hope. I mean, Triple H's resume says, hey, I fucking on the 7th day, I created NXT. So you're like, all right, well, that gives us hope. And then if Triple H goes up there and it's just Roman Reigns playing the part of John Cena playing the part of Hulk Hogan, and nothing has changed, me personally, I'm going to have to tap out because I only have so much life left, and Triple H will live longer than I will.
Hey, Dave, I hate to bring this up here, but one of the Internet Infantry just brought up some like hardcore news here. TJ Amars just brought this up to me. This is kind of some old news. This is about almost 2 weeks old, unfortunately. I don't know how the hell I missed this, but according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Sexy Star has left AAA.
Really?
Oh, no, yeah, I knew that. Oh, sorry, I should have said something.
Yeah.
I feel like such an asshole. That was the worst breaking news ever. Boom Boom's like, I got breaking news, and then he's fucking on. Can you imagine that happened on CNN? I got breaking news. Sexy Star left Triple A, and they go to his co-anchor like, yeah, of course I knew that. You didn't know that? Yeah, but yeah, it does suck for Triple A, but hopefully it leads to her doing something amazing. Maybe going back to NXT. You know, maybe the company who said she was too ugly is now read by the same person who's now pretending to be a feminist. So who knows where she's going? But I love Sexy Star, and I love the fact that she's the brave character that she should be again.
So is she signed exclusively with Lucha Underground right now?
Well, here's what it says. It's saying right now that there's been word that she's also been training for a pro boxing match, and in the past she was told she had to sign an exclusive contract with AAA to basically stay with Lucha Underground. But she has worked matches at the past weekends at that time, so that's been a couple of weeks ago, that weekend's Lucha Underground taping. So apparently she's still with the company. And I think this would be for season 3, I believe, that they're shooting right now.
Yeah. Can you imagine, dude, going to Lucha Underground live, not knowing the backstage segments, and knowing so much knowledge before it airs? It would be such a crazy feeling. I want to go to Lucha Underground live, but it would be such a crazy feeling. Like you're watching season 2 and you're like, oh, well, obviously this happens because I'm watching season 9 being recorded live now.
Yeah, I want to go so bad. I'd love to go see a Lucha Underground live event.
Dude, I would just lose my shit.
Oh yeah,
I'd have so much fun. Yeah. So maybe we'll get the crew together. So. All right, Booms. Any other live comments, sir?
Yeah, there's several here, but I'm just going to rapid fire through them. So I'll answer them, and if you guys want to chime in, that's fine. I'm going to just try to zip through these here because it's getting.
All right. Well, one thing that people are mentioning a lot is call-in line, and as soon as we find someone smart enough to work a call-in line, we will have one. I'm just very, very dumb.
Yeah, same here. I couldn't tie my shoes this morning, so yeah, I'm dumb.
Yeah, so it's not because we don't want to hear your voices, Internet Infantry. It's because we're dumb. A lot of people are like, oh, can you do what this podcaster does? I'm like, yeah, if someone taught me how, And also we want it to be easy and fun. But yeah, we'd love a call-in line. We're just very, very dumb. It's so funny too because I love saying that because I watch other YouTubers and they're like, we're the smartest people in the world, and then you come to KocoSports and we're like, no, we're idiots.
I've been defeated by a microwave in the last week, so yeah, I'm pretty dumb.
All right, so we'll get a call-in line. Dude, knowing some of these commenters, they'll come on, set up our call-in line, leave, and then call us and be like, you guys are fucking idiots. I'm like, thank you. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Booms.
All right, let's see. When is Finn Balor debuting? Your guess is as good as mine because I thought he was debuting Monday. That didn't happen. Why is Vince so out of touch now? Because he's old. He's been doing this for 30 years. He's set in his ways.
He's also stubborn. He's very stubborn. Yeah, I think that has to be a big piece of the puzzle, too. Go on.
Yeah, I agree.
I predict Pentagon Jr. will be champion after season 2. Your thoughts?
Oh, damn well better be.
I think that's where they're going to go with it because he's super over.
They have turned him into a near, on the scale that Lucha Underground is, they have turned him into a near stone cold tweener. Like, I'm going to hurt people. I don't care who I hurt. I'm a bad guy. People are going to cheer for me. Ciro Muerto, man, he's my boy. He had better damn well have a belt sometime.
I just want to give Lucha Underground credit. You got to remember when he first started, he was Chavo Guerrero's bitch.
Oh yeah, he was the nobody.
Now he's the fucking main guy, and I don't know who's going to be the champion. I don't read spoilers, and as far as me feeling it out, I don't know. But you can't go wrong. I mean, the guy's absolutely amazing. So I mean, the character, people love him. It's just what a kayfabe wise, in storyline wise, has there been a bigger improvement in such a short time?
Oh hell no! And props. I mean, he did a lot on his own. Don't get me wrong, so props to him. But man, props to Vampiro for taking that kid to the next level.
I still fucking mark out for the Vampiro storyline. And the thing is, I didn't read spoilers. And I just predicted it. And a lot of people thought I read spoilers, and I didn't. But holy fuck! When it's season 1, when he's like, "Where are you at, Master?" and Vampiro pops up. That is probably the most excited I've been in a storyline in fucking years.
Years.
I even knew I had a prediction it was going to happen, and I still popped like a motherfucker.
It was awesome. And then what's really cool about Lucha Underground, you can avoid spoilers really easily because they're not everywhere. Thank God.
Yeah. And Lucha Underground is still at the point where we don't have as many whiny fans, and we also don't have people just giving spoilers online being dicks.
Yeah, notice.
So, and the best part is the last last year someone gave me a spoiler, and the spoiler was wrong, and I was like, thank you, fucking internet dumbass.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Pentagon Jr. He's my boy. He needs to have a strap soon. Cerro Muerto. He's a god. That match with the Vampiros got to such a point that in my house, my guys that live with me who don't care about wrestling, but I sat both of them down and went, "You're gonna watch this match." So now,
like you just force them.
You're son of the coach. Now within my house, that match is just known as the match because everyone's watched it and marked out so hard because it was that good.
Well, and the funny thing is, they're always worried about casual fans, and Lucha Underground is the easiest one to get casual fans.
Easily, I've got my friends into they won't watch it with me every week, but if they come home and I got my feet up and I'm watching it, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Watching Lucha Underground." "Oh, sweet. Can you pause it for a sec?" And they're gonna watch it with me because it's easy to get into, it's easy to follow, and Lucha I think is the best style to get people into because it's fast paced, man. It's go go go, and I love that.
Booms?
All right. No, I agree with that. I would just...
You can just go to comments.
Yeah, I'll just keep going here. Let's see. Will Apollo Crews be great on the main roster if they take their time with him and they help him find his voice? He'll be fine. I think they rushed him up there too quick, but I think he'll be fine provided they don't give him the Tyler Breeze treatment.
And that's what I'm afraid they're going to do.
I am very scared of the Yuha Nation because I've watched him in Dragon Gate. I think he's one of the greatest human beings and one of the greatest wrestlers of all fucking time. The positive PD side of me is like, oh, cool, well, they can just build him up with WWE marketing and you don't have to worry about rebuilding him. He's a fresh slate. That's the positive PD. The guy who's willing to put money on it is like, fuck, they don't know what to do. They just brought him up and they're going to do nothing with him.
Yeah. I still stand by the fact. If they put him in the day, he'll swim. He'll do great.
I wish Ric Flair. I know this sounds crazy. I love Charlotte and I love Ric Flair. They're wasting each other's talents being together. I know they're family and I know that's the storyline. Ric Flair should not be managing Charlotte. I think Charlotte can do fine on her own. Ric Flair should be managing Yuha Nation. That's what it should be. Or, a stable like that. We need managers like Paul Heyman and Ric Flair. Not to be pussies. I know I love Ric Flair and I love Paul Heyman. But they're being pussies. They're just attached to fucking superstars. And they're like, hey, look, I'm a manager. No, a manager is supposed to fucking be the voice of someone who can't talk. Charlotte can talk, and Brock Lesnar, he doesn't need to fucking talk. Like, if Brock Lesnar just went out and started suplexing, just suplex. We're fucking popping. So I just hope Yuha Nation, I hope he makes it. I am a huge fan of his as a person and as a wrestler. And I'm telling you, when they fuck this up, I'm going to be heartbroken a lot. Because I don't know, we've been doing this a long time. Go back and see how long I've been putting over Yuha Nation. Go back and see how long I've been putting over Kana. These are people that I absolutely love from day one, and hopefully they did do well. And I'm really nervous.
Yeah, I'm afraid Apollo Crews is going to go the Evan Bourne, Matt Sydal wrote and just kind of fizzle out, even though they got all the talent in the world.
Well, and not only that, but remember, The Miz is doing a storyline where he asks people to become his mentor, like Daniel Bryan. And I hope maybe one day someone accepts. What if Yuha Nation's down in the dumps? He says, hey, fucking, I'll be your manager, because I think The Miz would be great as his mouthpiece.
Oh, absolutely.
And The Miz and Yuha Nation's the first one to say yes. Because you got to remember, every time they do the storyline, some awesome wrestler comes in and like, fuck you, I'm not doing it. And like, yeah! What if Yuha Nation or a great wrestler comes in and says, sure, I'll take you up on that. And then Miz ends his career as a wrestler / mouthpiece manager.
I think The Miz is kind of wasted as a wrestler right now because I can honestly see him on call me bold, I see him on a Jimmy Hart, God, who else? Not Brock, Paul Heyman. I see him on that kind of caliber, Bobby Heenan, that caliber manager, because I think he's got the talent.
Yeah, and just as long as he's not a face. Like, it's so weird. I love The Miz so much as a heel. As soon as he's a face, like, I would watch him drown. Like, as a face, it's like, dude. And it's like Bizarro World, because, usually, they want you to watch the heel drown. Fuck you, Owens. We love you. We'll always save you. Like, heel Miz, I save you every time. I run through fucking arrows, bullets, defend you. As soon as you're like, I'm a good guy, I'm like, fuck him. Like, feed him to the wolves. Feed him to the wolves! Alright, go ahead, Booms. Next comment, or if there is any.
Yeah, we're got about 8 more minutes here, so if we don't get to your question, blame Dame Coco.
No, not so fast, my fellow friend. You got Lee Corso, and you're not even the new guy. I can leave in 8 minutes. You guys can stay on and keep reading comments.
Oh, I have to get up like super early in the morning, and he's got.
Oh, that's what you get, bitch. You see that? You embarrass yourself in front of the new guy. How embarrassing.
Just remember, when in doubt, it's Dave's fault. Does Vince?
As a true leader, I always pass the buck.
Yes, I know. Does Vince like Nakamura? Well, I think he didn't know who he was, but he does now.
He better damn well know who he is. And
think he better not fuck that shit up.
Yeah, he better be smart enough. And God, I hope Vince is smart enough to look at Nakamura, look at that match, then look at the Triple H, and then go, okay, I'm hands off on this. You handle this, and I'll take it when it's ready.
Oh, here's a good one. Favorite moment from Lucha Underground?
Like ever?
Yeah, favorite ever.
Man, it's probably got to be the match. That Vampiro Pentagon Jr. match.
That Vampiro turn was...
Holy
that
fuck.
was amazing. And just, the Master, I thought was good. There's so many. So many. I remember the first couple episodes. Prince Puma, Shining. I don't know. There's just so fucking many, bro. But I think, like, I don't think anything tops Pentagon Jr. Vampiro. Like, there's so many.
So
but that one is just... that was off the fucking charts.
I'll tell you a close second for me was actually the first Prince Puma Pentagon Jr. match from this season. Man, that was just some classic hard-hitting like Lucha Libre. They were quick, rebounds, reversals all over the place. It showed me that, Pentagon Jr. can have that death match like he had with Vampiro, but that motherfucker's still a luchador, and he can work. And man, great fucking
man. There's so many. I think the Vampiro spot is number one, but like,
yeah, easily.
There's so many, like fucking every episode. Like, it's
something happens every episode.
Yeah, like I'm going Pops. Like, holy fuck.
Okay.
Pops, Prince Puma winning the title.
Yep.
Pops, Vampiro. Pops seeing that the boss is back.
Yep.
I pop for that. So yeah, there's just, I don't know. It's just so fucking good, man. And know what it is? I love the fact that it's three nerds, we're talking pro wrestling, and we're arguing over what is the best and having a hard time what is the best.
Mm-hmm.
It is so much better than an argument over who's worse, Cena or Reigns.
Yeah,
it's just, it feels good to argue. Like, it feels good to argue and think really hard what is better than, fucking being like, well, John Cena's better than Roman Reigns, and you're just like, what the fuck has my life come to?
Yeah, I mean, I totally get where you're coming from. I try and stay on the positive side as much as humanly possible, because like I told you yesterday, I'm a wrestling fan. So even when everyone else is hating on WWE, I have fun with it, because, again, I know you talked about this early in this episode, but I can just turn my brain off and watch it sometimes. Because I know that I'm just being white trash, South Alabama guy watching human monster trucks beat the holy hell out of each other.
Yeah, I can't do that with WWE for some reason, and it's because, like, a lot of people, like, you might have grew up on WWE, Boom Boom did. Mm-hmm. WWE, like, I hate when people, like, you're always a Hulkamaniac, and this is a lot of propaganda. You're always a Hulkamaniac, you're always a WWF fan. And I'm on the other side of the war. I'm the guy that always lost. I was an NWA fan, a Ric Flair fan, a WCW fan, an ECW fan. So, when I meet WWF fans, and they're like, well, they were always there for you. And I'm like, no, they were all like, I'm on the other side of the war. They're the ones that always killed what I love. And I don't know, it's hard to turn off your brain on a product where talent isn't rewarded. That's what it is.
I can see that, and maybe, and I've been called a shitty fan because I can just turn my brain off and watch it for a little while. But I mean, it's just, it gives me something, and I'm gonna get real deep, real hashtag deep here for just a second.
All right.
I don't get to see my son every day, and I wish I did. And so on those long stretches, like on those Monday nights, man, I know Monday night I can come home, I can open up a beer, and I can watch wrestling, and just for that little bit brief of time, I can just not worry about something.
I understand that, but the thing is, my kids, we live in Japan, so we get to watch good wrestling and experience that. But as a kid, though, I was passed around a lot, and wrestling was always there for us, so I understand that. Because, like, it was funny because, like, we had nothing, no one had anything in common in our family. It wasn't blood, it was just people that passed me around. But we didn't have nothing in common, but we all talk about pro wrestling and the Yankees. And it's weird because I didn't grow up to be a Yankees fan, but even to this day, like, I could meet a relative from New Jersey, like, how are the Yankees? They're fucking horrible. Like, they just won a World Series last week. Don't get me started.
I'm not a Yankees fan, but I am a Giants fan.
Everyone I know is a Giants fan.
Okay, I am in Alabama. There's like 14 other Giants fans in Alabama, and I've met 3 of them. And 3 of them are me, my brother, and my dad.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. No, I have always hated the Giants, even when I lived in Jersey. But I was a sports reporter in Tampa and decided to root for Tampa Bay teams. So then I became a Tampa Bay guy. But if I go back to Jersey, I was more of a Jets guy. Al Toons is a fucking bomb. That also, like, Jets fans seem more loyal and better than Giants fans as a kid. It's just like, the Giant fans were like, "Oh, we gotta win." The Jets fans were a bunch of alcoholics screaming Jets. And he'd be like, "Are you gonna win?" We're like, "We're gonna lose by 90, but god damn it, Al Toon's amazing." Like, I don't know, I was just attracted to Jets fans as a kid.
Never got to be around many Giants fans because, again, it was just me, my brother, and my dad. And the only reason
you grew up in Alabama, huh?
Oh, yeah.
See, I thought you grew up in Jersey.
Oh, Lord, no, man. I grew up in Alabama. The only reason we're Giants.
But then again, you guys don't have a pro team, so you guys can just jump on anything.
We've got racism. That's what we've got.
Go racism!
Yay! And the only reason we're Giants fans is my dad, and I'm from Kentucky originally, technically, so I did lie. But my dad grew up in Kentucky in the late 50s and early 60s and wanted to watch football, which might as well not exist in Kentucky. So he started pulling for the Giants just because it's the same color blue as Kentucky. And that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's why we're here. So yeah, football, pro wrestling. How the hell did we get there?
Hey, dude, it's comment time. We're a little loosey-goosey during comment time.
Touche.
Booms?
Let's do one more. You want to do one more?
Yeah, let's do one more. I'm going to go just down here. Let's
you guys can keep going. Threw you right under that fucking bus. Here comes the bus, baby.
Again, 14-hour shift tomorrow is not going to be fun.
All right. Dude, boom, this better be the best question ever. Listen, if we missed your question, tweet them at KocoSports, put them down in the comments section, or go on ProWrestling.me and put it on my profile page, and I'll try to do a Stump the Idiot and answer them. So go ahead.
All right, I'm looking here. I'm trying to find one more.
This better be the best question ever, boo-boo. And listen, new guy, Synister. If it sucks, we boo. Boom, this better be the best question ever. Get ready. Give a reaction like we're fans. We're just sitting down. We're Philadelphia fans.
Oh, God, the worst
best
of all
question ever. All right, so here we go, Booms. You got a Philadelphia ECW audience.
All right.
Let's see the reaction. This better be the best question ever.
Let
me go drink some gasoline first so I can get on Philly's level.
All right. I think this is a relatively safe one, and I think it's a good one considering the show tonight. So, what talents would you add to Lucha Underground?
All right, I'm not booing that. I'm not ECW. Talents you would add.
Man, talents I would add. That's hard because they've got such a stacked roster. Honestly, cop-out answer, I think you could damn near add anybody into that roster, and that writing team would get them over. Because everyone that comes out of that crowd and gets down to that ring, I'm excited to see. Now, if I had to pick somebody in particular that I'd like to see, there's some crazy shit out there, man. I think bringing in some of the New Japan guys would be awesome. I would love to see what maybe like Tanahashi or I always forget his name. Kushida. I would love to see what Kushida could do in that ring because his offense would fit great into the Lucha style. And he's already weird because he already thinks he's Marty McFly. So I think they could do something.
He's a
fucking
time splitter, sir. Show
Time
him some respect.
No. Yeah, I think
He's a time splitter that's misspelled 90% of the time.
Oh yeah, time splitter. I have a friend that every time I get drunk, he always wants me to do my anime voice, which is like, and he just dies laughing. But yeah, I'm gonna say Kushida, man. That's my one guy I'd like to see.
I think Naito, just with the gimmick he's got going, Naito would be absolutely amazing. I don't know. There's so many guys, because the thing is, they put an eye patch on a pile of shit and got him over. They could do anything in this fucking company. I mean, it's just, I would love to see guys that can wrestle or guys that have a character. Oh, the Wyatts. Come on, man. You mentioned the Wyatts and fucking.
That would be awesome.
Even Bray is saying that. You know, EC3. I would love to see a repackaged Abyss, because I think Abyss, and I'm not even making fun of TNA now. Abyss has lost everything from TNA a couple of years ago. He's just, but
I'm not even familiar
repackage Abyss, you know, it would be Abyss at one time. A lot of younger fans don't know this. Abyss at one time had a short period where he was the best big man in the business. Those days are gone. But there was a short window where Abyss was the best big man in the business. It was a very short window, but I remember that window being open. I don't know. There's so many fucking great guys. I would love to see a Dragon Gate invasion, because a lot of these crazy ideas are coming from Dragon Gate, and Dragon Gate is fucking insane. I would even, yeah, just like, I'm on a Dragon Gate roster. You're hired. So there you go. I would love to see Dragon Gate. Yeah. So there's so many. But I think number one, gun to my head, WWE, Wyatts, TNA, maybe Abyss, but I would still rather see EC3, New Japan, Naito, Dragon Gate roster, and there you go. And dude, I mean, look what they did to Joey Ryan. Look at that. Yeah. I mean, anyone can come in there and they just fucking do an amazing work. So I tip my hat to Christy Joseph and the gang. Booms, do you have anyone you gotta add? Dude, he's gonna say Bailey. He's gonna say Bailey. He's gonna say Bailey.
Nah, you wish. Actually, I kind of wish. But off the top of my head, I would say Matt Sydal, Will Ospreay, Bushi, ACH, TJ Perkins, and the Young Bucks.
Yeah. So, man, the Young Bucks, what would they do? That's just too much. I think this is just me. The end of the world is the Young Bucks showing up in Lucha Underground. That is just way too much awesome in one place. The whole fucking, like, the earth would fucking shake and fall apart. You know what I mean?
Satan back.
It would just, dude, it would be, what if the Elite, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, they just show up with the Never titles and they're like, hey, we're here to take your fucking six-man tag titles away. The whole fucking place would just, and the world end. We'd go out with a huge bang.
Would a Lucha Underground versus another promotion be? Because you could have it to where.
Well, it depends on the promotion. Dragon Gate, New Japan.
Dragon Gate, New Japan, any of those guys. Maybe to a smaller extent ROH, but you could just have it to where El Jefe can turn hero for a little bit, and he has to gather his troops and all these people he's fucked over and dicked over and go, look, they're trying to take what's mine. You motherfuckers need to go stop them.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
I don't want to see it. This is several years down the road.
Yeah. Because the thing is, I don't know if the ROH style would fit in, but you never know. Oh my God! Can you imagine the Briscoes with the Lucha Underground booking? That would be crazily weird. That would be just like in a good way.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on your bandwagon for a little bit. Kushida would be great, but honestly, I think the Wyatts would fit in there flawlessly.
Yeah. And not only, but I don't know how true this is. I apologize. I didn't click the link. I just saw a headline, and I'm like, well, there's a headline on the internet. It's got to be true. But according to this headline on the internet, the Wyatts have publicly said that WWE doesn't know how to book them.
No, that's true. 100% true. It was on Sam Roberts' podcast. There's more to it than that. He full out came out and said, WWE doesn't know what to do with us, but we don't know what to do with us. They didn't know what to do with us in NXT. No one really knows what to do. We just kind of get.
That's sad. That's sad. That's like, I would just hug him. Like, all right, listen, we're going to take a break from the show. Just hug him.
Come here, bro.
Just like, dude, how?
because obviously the WWE doesn't. But I mean, we could spend an entire episode talking about how they have.
Well, maybe we'll do a special Stump the Idiot. What would we do with the Wyatt family?
Go.
All right, Booms, I gotta pee, so let's wrap this bad boy up. We're
All
professional around here, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. If you got a question that we haven't answered, my apologies. Just send your hate mail to Dave and tweet to him. In the meantime, be sure to check us out. Be sure to check us out at ProWrestling.me. It's the pro wrestling club for professional wrestling fans. It's absolutely free to sign up, so please do so and join up and jump in the conversation. We're having a lot of fun over there. And also check us out at KocoSports.com. KocoSports.net takes you to the same place. It's your home for combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. So be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And as I mentioned earlier in the review, LK will be on here a little bit later. He'll be reviewing SmackDown as well as Evolve.
Boom, Boom, you're breaking up. I don't know if that's on my side. Boom, Boom, you were breaking up.
Okay.
LK will be on here a little bit later with a SmackDown review. And we're trying to at least do 1 or 2 shows a day. We're expanding our roster. Synister, thank you for coming. Boom Boom, and hot tag to you, hoping the internet fixed your shit. Hot tag, Booms.
So be sure to check us out. So this is Boom Boom for Coco and Sammy. The boom just went bang, and I am out of here.